Hey y'all, my name is LaGina Rae and I'm here with LaRae Infinity Media and we are here at H-Town Roundup year 2, baby. I love it. So I'm here with this person. He is a friend. He has been a mentor. He's amazing in business and has a lot to say and a lot of knowledge about the Houston ecosystem and Houston in general. So I am going to hand the mic over to you and I want you to introduce yourself.
Golly. How do I follow that? I mean, LaGina's so amazing, and I'm always so humble to be on things. Robert Pieroni. So I do business development for Generator, a venture capital and startup accelerator firm. But prior to that, I was here in the Houston ecosystem building it for 7+ years, bringing Generator actually to Houston, Mass Challenge to Houston, co-founding my own company with some buddies that just recently got acquired by the Canon co-working space.
Congratulations. Acquiring is a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then as part of that, getting to work with really cool people like LaGina and supporting her journey, not only personally as a mentor and a friend, but also on the software side, getting to help people out while they chase their own dreams.
I love that. And I love that you say the software side and not only in business, but friendship, because, you know, I had the pleasure of finally speaking on a panel with you. And one of the things that, you know, I always talk about is, you know, I love business, but if I'm going to do business with somebody, I want to know who the person is that I'm doing business with. And I think that very much comes from, you met Mama Harris, so very much comes from my family, my father, and taking time to add humanality to things. So I appreciate you being willing to be on that side of the journey, because I know that's different sometimes than how people approach business. And for me, business has to start from that side and move forward. So let's talk more about just Houston and how it is growing, because there's this common theme that's coming around this year about Houston being in its infancy of ecosystem building. So talk about that a little bit.
That's fair. And yeah, I mean, to the business side, relational. If there's not a relational aspect and it's just purely monetization, like what's the point? We should all be helping each other. And that's really the point of the Houston startup ecosystem or the Houston founder ecosystem on the creative class, the music class, you name it. It's the same thing. It's all relational. And right now it is in its infancy. You know, we just started really committing resources to this about 7 years ago. And all the credit for the awakening in Houston should be Mayor Turner. I think so highly of Mayor Turner and some of what his administration did to help really spark this fire in the city. And it was to spark a fire to help everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't just startups. It wasn't just tech, VC. It was founders who were in the arts community. It was the music community. It was everyone.
Yeah.
It was like, this is a beautiful city, and it's filled with beautiful people who are smart, talented in all sectors. And we should have been lifting them all up, not just looking at one, which is what some other cities have done.
Right. And, you know, there's this bend and flex in this yin and yang with oil and gas, because, you know, everybody knows Houston for its oil, Houston Oilers, all that kind of stuff. And then Houston is next, I would say, like NASA and space. Houston, we have a problem, right? Yeah. So those two things, and then we're fighting to be in the tech industry, which is wild, because I was reading a stat, what is it, like 9,000 tech companies or so? There's tons of stats around tech in Houston, but I love that you say art. I love that, you know, art can be even considered in the media and all of those things. Talk about the journey in just bringing some of that to Houston, and what does that look like then and now?
Yeah, no, yeah, oil and gas, energy, space city, all these fun things. The one thing I'll say, when I first got here years ago, I had a mentor once tell me, and I just wanted to say this, he goes, every city in the world wishes they had what we had. Just keep that in perspective.
Ooh, here in Houston.
Yeah, you think about.
Interesting.
We have more Fortune 500 companies than just about anyone. I think New York's the only one better than us or higher than us on that. And then he said, think about the legacy industries that have lifted up this city. Everyone else in the world wishes they had it. But as Houstonians, we want more, and we want to give more back to our community. We're all Houstonians. And I said this a long time ago. we're not from here, but we came here for a purpose. And so we should invest in this city differently. I'm a Californian. I'm open and honest about it. We should be investing in this city for everyone. All Houstonians, we're one, right? I think it's like 1 in 4 are foreign born. Like 50% of Houstonians are from somewhere else. And so you have all these cultures, you have different likes and so on coming into this world. And so it's really neat. Kind of went off topic and kind of also forgot most of the question because that's how I am. Let's just be honest.
Talking about now and then, when you started into the ecosystem, right? When you started in here, ecosystem or lack thereof, if you will, or something that was not even conceptualized in its totality to now and us sitting behind mics at, this H-Town Roundup that is involving everything and everybody. And, even when you say that, I'll add this stat on because the Greater Houston Partnership releases this thing and it has Houston facts on it. And it says, there are over 1.7 Houstonians. And there you go. Roughly 1 in 4 of them are born outside of the United States. So I'm backing up your facts because people are like, how did he get that fact? I'm like, I got you. And then, also we are the 3rd largest metro area with Fortune 500s in the nation. We're 25th largest ecosystem or economy in the world. And then, here it is. Here's the tech-related firms. There's 9,100 tech-related firms, including over 1,000 venture-backed startups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We're moving.
Yeah.
So let's think how we got here. It really started with this idea of we need to be a consumer-facing city. And I think that's the big misnomer that people don't get about Houston. We are, I'm whatever, people get mad. We are better than most cities. Let's just call it what it is. And from an innovation perspective, we've always been better. Where'd the artificial heart come from? Oh, Texas Medical Center?
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. The first Dome Stadium? Well, that was Houston as well. Man on the Moon? Here again. We've been innovative. What we've never been was really consumer-facing innovation, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
break that
apps.
down a little bit more. Yeah.
And so when you really think of it, we've always been a B2B innovation market. And
business to business.
Business to business. So I'm terrible with acronyms because I just use them constant. So what we've always done is thought, how do we revolutionize industry? And like it or not, like the technology within fracking was an incredible technology. So these technologies were always developed here. But what they weren't was something that the average consumer would use. So the average person wasn't paying attention to the artificial heart, the Dome Stadium, fracking. What they're paying attention to is social media, so consumer-facing products. And so for Houston, what we did was we said, well, now how do we start to look at the city differently and consumer-facing in tech, arts, culture? So we started with like, there's a plan, and there has to be. How do you take something from ideation through pre-acceleration, acceleration, then you get them into scaling, maturity, and eventually you have something larger. And so really what we started to do was say, like, let's build these building blocks. And so we did single-handedly build each of these building blocks out over the city to provide resources for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. What are some of those building blocks that are still standing and providing the resources? Because I've talked to Christine, who's with Cameron Management, Esperson Building, and it's cool because I feel like the first person I heard say this term was you. I'm going to say the term in a second. And now it's just floating out here like it's the new vocabulary word, which is a vertical village.
Hey, that's where it started. Well, it's actually a concept. When you look at the way innovation hubs have been built around the U.S., they're built in different ways. You have physical kind of horizontal developments. So like innovation districts, you have cities that are kind of known as innovation communities or creative communities like Austin. Well, you look at a vertical tower, an office tower, you have to build your space vertically. So when you're building an innovation village, build it vertically is the same as horizontally. It's just a different concept. It's moving someone from one floor to the next along the journey of their process. And so we built a vertical village here, and we brought resources that took you from that start. Generator, G-Beta, it's a non-dilutive, so they don't take equity, accelerator. And we have had incredible companies, to include the US space, go through where they got the same resources that an investment accelerator where they take equity would get.
Yep.
And we take you from that stage to get you ready for the, accelerator. So you have pre-accelerator, then you have your accelerator where it's just kind of like taking it to the next level. And then we move you on into these other resources like incubators. So like Impact Hub, where they have continuous education for founders and creatives to continue the journey in their process. And then, the Canon on the co-working side and the spatial management side, but also on the incubator side, you have a place to have a space, but you also have a place for continued education as they've started to pump out tons of education to just give away free as, we're lifting everyone at once.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you said it best the other day. The incubators, you can sit in there and just keep on getting educated. An accelerator, when I describe an accelerator, because, I went through G Beta, yes. And one of the best classes of G Beta, by the way. And my class personally called out nationally all the G Beta classes of that year, which was spring 2022. My class went through and we just decided the way our class was created just to, propel. And that's what an accelerator does. We had 7 weeks, and it's wild because if you get through an accelerator in 7 weeks, you get to the end, you take a nap for 2 weeks, and then you have 8, 9, 10 months of work to do. But even in an accelerator is where I took the us-based model from this individualized, bespoke, one person at a time to focusing on I don't even think I've ever told you this, but focusing on organizations and groups to bring those in to help increase the community and the resources, so the individuals were also getting what they needed too, which in turn helps organizations like a non-for-profit that's looking for a board member find a board member. Yeah. And then so it's just, again, these ecosystems that we're talking about. So I love that you say that. And as we talk about ecosystems, what is your favorite thing about Houston and the idea of our infancy in the ecosystem and where it's growing to? What's your most thing you're excited about?
Yeah. Because Houston's in its infancy, we have the opportunity to get a lot of things right, where other communities maybe didn't because they were accelerating so fast at a time before it existed. And what I say is it's one community for all Houstonians. And I think when we say that, we mean it. I think our numbers reflect it, that there's a space for everyone. I used to say this. If you want to get the same quality entrepreneurial education as anyone on the West Coast or the East Coast, you can get it in Houston. It might be tough.
I agree.
You might have to take a bus or 2 buses or something, but you can get it because we built a community for everyone. Yeah. It doesn't matter socioeconomics, it doesn't matter gender, race, nothing. We have resources for everyone because we built a community for everyone. Yeah. And I think that goes to a lot of what Houston is, and that was kind of the stats we talked about of we are everyone. There is everyone here, and we are all here for a purpose. Yeah. And the purpose is we're all just one Houstonians. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. I love that you're bought into it so much, especially coming from California. I think it's important that you say that Texas is one of those places people move to. And so to take on whatever our challenges are and turn it into an our thing and collective. And you said, what are we doing it for unless we're going to help? That's exactly what it means. So I want to thank you for taking time to talk about that because you play so many roles within the ecosystem, whether you're now in Italy all the time. I see you on LinkedIn. But, you did a lot here. You're doing a lot here. It plays into, we've talked to Blue people. We're going to talk to Red Labs and, all of these others. We talked to the Esperson building and Ion's over there and Cannon's over here and the US spaces there. All of these things that pull in to making it happen. And I love how you're tying it together by just the collective understanding that things need to get done. Yeah. Things just need to get done.
Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere. We got a lot of work to do.
Done. #we got work to do. I love that hashtag. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all know how it goes. My name is LaGina Rae. This is LaRae Infinity Media. And while you're moving through the world, as you're figuring out who you're going to be in the next iteration, as you're figuring out how you're going to contribute to ecosystems like Houston, make sure that you're kind to yourself. You check on those strong people around you. And as always, tell your story, be your own brand, live your truth, and stand in your moment. All right, y'all. Peace.